everyone. So if you're new here, my name is Shiloh. I'm a love coach for married women who want to have soul satisfying lifelong love stories and either can't get their husband to go to couples therapy or did go to couples therapy and it didn't even work. So this is how you can reclaim your power to transform your marriage all by yourself. But today we're going to talk about disappointment. Because disappointment is one of the hardest experiences for us to have. We're looking forward to something, we have an expectation, and then it doesn't go down that way. And a lot of people on Valentine's have this, but a lot of times it's just kind of a generalized sense of like, this is not what I had in mind. My expectations have not been met. So I thought to talk about this because just now I was waiting patiently, camera ready, light ready for a podcast interview. And I love doing podcasts. Podcasts are so much fun. I have tons of them. If you ever want to check them out, just let me know. Put podcasts below. I have a playlist. I can give you, one or two episodes, or I can give you the whole thing and you can browse it. So there's tons to look into. But I love doing podcasts because I just get to meet people who are interested in ideas, interested in conversation, and who really value hearing, what I have to share. And that's just always really, really fun experience. So something happened. I don't know why. They didn't show up, and I thought, how long am I going to wait? I'm a pathologically on-time person, so, I'm always ready unless something terrible happens. And so when people are late, I just assume they're not coming. But I always wait. So I waited about 15 minutes, and then I thought, it's a weekend. I set my kids up. They're watching screens. I had to arrange all these things to be available right now. I don't usually work on the weekends. So I thought, why don't I say hi to my people and talk to them about how to handle these types of disappointments? Because let's be honest, life's full of disappointments. It's going to happen. Your expectations are not always going to be accurate and on point. Something that somebody does, or even the weather. We can be disappointed by things that have nothing to do with human beings. So let's talk about disappointments in relationship. And what we typically do is we make it worse. And it becomes like a story and a narrative. And it perpetuates the problem. And I want to save you from doing that and help you learn how to deal with your emotions when this type of thing happens. So let's say that you are a woman who is really hoping that her husband would take her on a date, right? And she's asked him to take her on a date, and the day comes along, and she's thinking he still hasn't planned anything, he still hasn't said anything. And she's getting this growing dread, oh man, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So before the event even takes place, before the disappointment is sure, she is backing out energetically. She's like, I'm not looking forward to this. I'm not excited about this. I am anticipating disappointment. Anticipating disappointment is also a bad plan because now you're feeling the negative emotions before something happens, but it's human. We all do it. So you're anticipating it, and then you're waiting it out, and then it happens. It's 7 p.m, nothing's happened. Maybe you're with your husband, and he's looking clueless, and you're just like, so you get this flood of emotions like sadness, disappointment, rage, confusion. It's a lot, right? It's a lot to handle when something that we thought was going to happen, or maybe that was even promised to us, is not fulfilled on. So two ways. There's really two kinds of people in general. There are the turtles, and then there are the jackals. And I think it's Marshall Rosenberg talks a little bit about animal archetypes, but the turtles are obvious, right? As soon as you even anticipate it's not going to work out, you're crawling into your shell. You're thinking, why did I even get my hopes up? I'm such an idiot. I should have known. These are the people who tell themselves, I should have known, and that getting excited about anything is stupid and ridiculous, and I should know that nothing is ever going to work out the way I want it to. And I'm so dumb. And there's a little bit of he's so dumb too, and I should have known he's dumb. But I'm not going to put my trust or my hope or my expectation in this person again. And I am going to crawl into my shell. And part of that is to protect my gentle heart. And part of that is to show him. And he can see what it's like to not have the benefit of my energy or my smile or my conversation. So I will close down. I will avoid. I will do other things. I will focus my life on elsewhere and lose hope in this person, lose trust in them. And over time, trust them for less and less and less things. That's how the turtle handles disappointment. What do you think happens when you handle disappointment this way? Comment below. What do you think the result is to your relationship? Well, it's another brick in the wall, essentially, right? Like now this is a guard on your heart. Every time there's a disappointment, which you now shut down, which now becomes calcified as resentment. I sometimes talk about the rocks in the backpack. You throw that in the backpack. Oh, there was that other time he let me down. That sucked. And you are weighed down by this, and it blocks off your heart. When your heart is fully blocked, when you have all these bricks in front of it, it would not matter what your husband would do. You wouldn't be able to receive it because you would be so closed off. This is natural. This happens, right? So we need to be careful not to take this route because it's just a slow death. It's a slow route towards, you know what? I love you, but I'm really not in love with you anymore. I kind of feel numb about this relationship. And that's not, you might hope that your husband like rides to the rescue and is like, oh, sorry, oh my God, now I get it. But usually it doesn't work that way. Usually it's just, what? I had no idea. What are you talking about? I thought everything was fine. Confusion, crossed wires, nothing. Okay, so then what's the other kind of woman? The other kind of woman is the jackal, and she is ready to breathe flame on this person, right? She's like, you promised. So she's like a lawyer, right? She's got a laundry list. She's like, you said this, you promised that. I've asked you it this many times. Exhibit A, B, C, and D shows that 1, you don't love me. 2, you're an inconsiderate bastard. 3, I don't know when you're going to wake up, right? So it's like an indictment and it's attack. And you can feel really justified to do this because all your line items are correct. They are unimpeachable. They're true. You're a good lawyer. But now, what happens when that happens? Well, now you have a husband who either accepts guilt, puts his tail between his legs, and hides in the corner, watches TV. Or you have a husband who says, how dare you? How dare you talk to me that way? I was busy. I was working. Just because things didn't go your way perfectly doesn't mean you have the right to attack me. And he tells you that you're spoiled, and he tells you something's wrong with you. And now you're really, really mad and really hurt. Because not only were you disappointed in all these ways, but now you've been unheard, unvalidated, and attacked just a little bit on top. So what happens when we do this? Well, I think if you're in that relationship, it feels really bad. And it means that whatever disappointed you had is now exploded into a bigger rupture where both of you feel attacked, both of you feel let down, both of you are hurting, angry, distance from one another, and trust is lost. Trust is lost. So what can we do differently to bounce back, to not explode this situation? Well, the first thing we want to do when we're disappointed is attend to ourselves. This is very different from turtling. This is very different than becoming the lawyer. This is being your own best friend. This is being your own mama, best mama. And this is when you go, oh man, you were really looking forward to that, weren't you? That hurts. And you don't make a story about it, him or you don't justify it, you don't wipe it away. You actually be with yourself. This is not something anybody taught us. This is not the skill that most of us have, but it is absolutely critical for having a healthy, happy, lifelong love story. This is foundational piece of what I teach my clients in Happily Married Woman, which is the DIY option, or my Magical Marriage Mentorship, which is 3 months with me holding your hand through everything. Or I have a special offer right now, which is 5 days of unlimited questions and text of everything you want to know, called Expert in Your Pocket. And so I will be giving you all of it. Whatever you want to know, you ask it, I'll tell you. And this is a limited time special thing I've come up with, so jump on it. If you are interested in any of those offers, you just want to find out what might work best for you and what you're available for, just drop in the comments. Just say, hey, interested, or MMM, or I don't even care. Just message me, right? Don't be shy and say, what about this one? Tell me more, and I'll give it to you. I'll also drop the link for the Expert in Your Pocket, so you can just go ahead and buy it if you're an action taker. You don't have to wait. You don't even have to conversation. What I love about the Expert in Your Pocket offer is that this is a voice and text memo. It's not Zoom's chats. And actually, a lot of people love that. A lot of people love that because you do it on your own time whenever you want. I do it on my own time whenever I want. We don't have to worry about getting on a meeting, getting in front of camera. And my clients get this as well as their Zoom meetings. And a lot of them take great advantage of it and get tons of support just through voice memos and texts. So it's a really cool option if you're interested in that. Okay, so back to how we handle this. So you be with yourself, you be with your emotions, and then you ask yourself what you desire. What is your desired outcome? Because when we just react to our own emotions by turtling or by being the lawyer, we are only placating ourselves. We are only superficially attending to our own ego, our own momentary reactions. So the turtle feels a little bit safe because she's turtled. The lawyer feels a little bit justified because she's attacked. But we don't feel better after. Like, we don't feel better long term. This doesn't solve anything in our relationship. It's just like a momentary, like, I gotta vent my self-righteousness. I gotta feel self-righteous for a while, which feels better than vulnerability and disappointment. So it's just masking it. It's just a Band-Aid. So if you want to feel better in your relationship, you go, well, what do I want here? Maybe I want him to know how it felt. Maybe I want him to take me out next time. Maybe I want him to know how much I desire this thing, how important it is to me. Maybe I'm seeking understanding. Maybe I want to know why and what happened. Now, why is a tough one because it can seem as a criticism. So I'm going to give you an example of what I would choose in this situation. First thing, meet with yourself, be with your inner child, soothe yourself, become calm. Then I might think, I still want this to happen. This is still a desire of mine. I don't want to blow it up and make it all go away. So then I might go to my husband and say, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? And I say, I was really looking forward to going on a date last night. And then I wouldn't say anything. I'd wait to see what he says. And then no matter what he says, I'd say, do you think we can still do it? Will you plan another one for XY day or next week? Because I still really, really want to have that opportunity to spend time with you. I would feel happy. I would feel loved. I'd feel prioritized. It means a lot to me. It would actually make a huge difference for my energy level, for how supported I feel, for my ability to show up as a mom and a wife. What do you think? And so I've reiterated the positive of where I want to go instead of spend a whole bunch of time in, how could you do this to me? Like, you have to know how I feel. I have to punish you for how you've hurt me. Punishing never, ever gets us what we want. Never, ever, ever, ever. So there you have it. Learn how not to dwell in resentment and turn it into a brick in the wall. Turn it into just another rupture story that you complain about after you're divorced. Don't be that woman. I know so many women who are divorced and still telling the stories. They are still pissed. Is that any way to live your life? How much energy do you want to give to this person that every single thing they do, you tell it as like a terrible story for like your whole life? You want to feel that way? No, we want to feel happy, alive, full of pleasure, full of joy. And that is up to us regardless of how anyone else treats us. You can have that. And that's what I'm here for, okay? Lifelong love story with yourself first and then with your man. So if you have any questions or any other topics you'd like me to talk about, please drop them below. Please message me. I can't wait to hear from you. Have a great evening.